Hello and welcome to another edition of Motor Cars Enthusiast. Right off the bat on the old show today, the Caterham Formula One team's in the news again. Yes, after that huge shakeup that we talked about several videos ago, where this actual consortium group came in and bought this Grand Prix team, and then made sweeping changes, got rid of a bunch of people, brought in some new people, trying to get this team back up on the right foot. Well, sadly, now they're in another situation as the group, or at least the folks that were actually let go from their jobs and not actually picked up by other teams, which it is very, very difficult to do. If you get let go mid-season, very tricky to get back in with another team. They do a lot of the hiring and whatnot in the off-seasons. So this group of people that were actually let go are actually now suing the Grand Prix team, that is Caterham. And now Caterham is countersuing. Now the people that are suing are actually suing over lost wages. They're claiming they weren't paid for the month of July, but they're also for wrongfully being let go from the team. Now Caterham's actually suing against them. They're actually doing countersuit actually over the allegations and whatnot, saying they were paid and also that these folks were actually let go for the proper reasons. So it's a tough deal, especially when it comes to those folks that are out of work right now. They're in the worst situation, and actually our thoughts and prayers go out to those folks, but a little bit too as well to the Caterham team. Been nice to see this team get up on sure footing and be able to get on with an ownership group that quite possibly could move this team into the future, especially coming into the 2015 season. So it's a terrible situation all the way around. If anything else comes of it, we'll let you know. Next up on the list, the brand new i8 is first getting traction, being sold around the world. But we're already hearing about a successor coming up on the birthday for the Bavarian Motor Works Group, as they're going to be celebrating their 100th anniversary of building road cars. And this brand new i8's bigger brother, if you will, is going to be called the i9, or at least that's what a lot of people are pointing towards. But this i9 is going to be special indeed, as they're talking about there's going to be more closer to supercar style numbers coming out of this vehicle. And this vehicle is going to have a little tip of the hat to the old M1. Remember the M1 from back, I think it was late 70s, early 80s, this BMW supercar that they built. This car actually had its own racing series back in the day as well. So very intriguing automobile. It's going to be very interesting to see that new i9 coming up hopefully in the next couple of years. Also sticking with BMW, the brand new i3 apparently for the 100th anniversary is going to get its own bigger brother, which is going to be called the i5. It's basically going to be the i3 but more room for passengers. Maybe quite possibly having a 4-door unit for this particular model. So that will be very interesting to see, as well as this whole i group of vehicles is becoming its own subgenre itself. In other i3 news, interesting deal, their BMW's actually put together a quick charging system for your home, which I found to be incredibly weird. I didn't think that this was a great idea at all. Why would you want a quick charge at your home? But to me, always an electric vehicle, and I'm not actually the person that they would be selling an electric vehicle to, but to me, that's the type of vehicle that you would actually use for a commuter car. Back and forth to work, maybe to run a few errands and whatnot. This wasn't a real car to go wandering all over the place in. But the more I thought about it, you know what? If you're a stay-at-home mom, stay-at-home dad, and you need to shuffle kids around or flip some people around as far as to sporting events, to sport practice and things like this, head out to the store, things like this, this could be invaluable to someone to actually come back, and in 30 minutes time you can gain back 80% of the charge, which is pretty doggone impressive. Not to mention, if you were using this in more of a workplace type setting, like especially like in the auto parts industry, if you were going to run parts around to folks, you know, it would be very, very nice to actually have a vehicle like this, not to mention that you could charge up really quickly and get right back into service. Now, that being said, the supercharger or the quick charge unit actually does take its toll on the battery, and you will have to place the battery quite a bit sooner than you would normally. But this being said, it is still a pretty interesting little unit. Now, there is a little bit of a caveat, which is the cost of the unit. When the Chevy Volt first came out, they had a 220 unit that more of a quick charge style setup. It didn't charge nearly as quickly as this particular setup, but it cost you around $2,000. A lot of other groups, electric car groups, are doing the same thing. This little unit, though, it's going to cost you $6,500 US, so quite a bit more expensive, but I think that there is a market for this here in the United States and also everywhere else around the world. Last up on the list, for the first time ever on U.S. soil, Lamborghini is going to hold a driving academy. Yes, the folks over in Lamborghini are going to bring their whole driving academy, and you're going to get to drive some high-end Lambo stuff. Not to mention, you don't have to be a Lamborghini owner to get on in this. All you have to have is the right kind of money, which is the green kind, and most everybody has that, and as long as you got enough, you're in. Now, this is going to take place between September 14th through September 19th of 2014 at Mazda Raceway, Laguna Seca out in California. Now, this particular deal is right up a lot of folks' alleys, especially for the sheer fact you're going to get the hands on the newest and the latest and the greatest, which is that brand new Lamborghini Huracan. Now they're showing off that they're going to be able to do some slalom testing, braking testing, acceleration testing, cornering testing, and even hearing maybe some drifting they're going to be teaching out there. Very intriguing situation indeed. And again, you're going to be driving the brand new Lamborghini Huracan. Now let's talk about the damage that is as far as being able to afford this particular deal. It's going to cost you $5,000 per person. Now, if you want to take your husband, wife, or boyfriend or girlfriend on this particular situation, it's only an extra $800 US to have someone tag along with you. So it's a pretty good little situation. Again, like I said, it's going to happen between the 14th through the 19th of September, Mazda Raceway, Laguna Seca, and you can check in with Lamborghini for all the details on this deal. And that's all there was that I thought was worth talking about for this edition of Motor Cars Enthusiasts. If you want to jump on over to the Facebook page and like us over there, we'd appreciate it. Also, if you want to subscribe to the channel, you can do so at any time. Get the first dibs on the brand new shows as soon as they come out. Thanks for watching. We'll see you again real soon.